You took your time to reflect and process the connection you had with this person, not rushing into any conclusions, but carefully considering how their actions impacted you. For a long time, they were breadcrumbing you, giving you just enough attention to keep you around but never offering anything concrete or consistent in terms of commitment. This behavior left you in an emotional limbo, feeling constantly uncertain about where things stood between you two. The lack of stability in the relationship took a toll on your emotional well-being, and slowly but surely, the trust you once had in them began to crumble. This situation wasn't just disappointing, it was devastating. It felt as though you had been investing your heart and energy into something that had no solid foundation, and that realization broke something within you. The insecurity that came from their inability or unwillingness to commit made you question yourself. Old fears and vulnerabilities started to surface, as you began to wonder if you were asking for too much, or if maybe you weren't worthy of the love and commitment you truly desired. But deep down, you knew that none of this was your fault. You have always been someone who believes in long-term, meaningful relationships. For you, relationships aren't about casual flings or temporary connections, they are about building something lasting and real. This is why their inability to match your energy and intentions affected you so deeply. As your frustration and hurt grew, you realized you had no choice but to take control of the situation in the only way you could, by putting up boundaries. You needed to protect yourself and your emotional health, so you began creating space between the two of you. These boundaries weren't about shutting them out completely but were meant to protect your heart until they were ready to come forward with genuine intentions. You couldn't allow yourself to continue in a situation that felt one-sided and uncertain. It was a difficult decision, but one that was necessary for your own well-being. Despite the heartache, your love for them never faded. In fact, it was that very love that made you decide not to walk away completely. Deep down, you felt that there was something real between the two of you, something worth waiting for. You chose patience, giving them the time and space they needed to sort out their own feelings. Your hope was that they would eventually realize the value of the connection you shared and come back to you with a renewed sense of purpose and commitment. It wasn't easy, but you remained steadfast in your decision to wait for them to come forward with true, honest intentions. Interestingly, this period of separation and distance had a profound impact on your person. As they spent more time apart from you, they began to see things differently. They started to recognize just how incredible you are, not just as a romantic partner but as an individual. They realized that you possess a strength, resilience, and integrity that sets you apart. In their time away, they had a shift in perspective, seeing you in a new light, which deepened their admiration and respect for you. They began to understand the depth of the connection that they had previously taken for granted. This distance allowed them to gain clarity about the soul-level bond that exists between the two of you. The longer they stayed away, the more they found themselves drawn back to you. They couldn't deny the strong pull they felt, both emotionally and physically. They realized they were highly attracted to you, not just because of how you look, but because of the person you are, someone who is authentic, kind, and loving. They began to acknowledge the passion and deep feelings they had been trying to suppress or ignore for so long. However, with that realization came a flood of conflicting emotions. Your person began to feel immense guilt and conflict over their past behavior. They knew they hadn't treated you the way you deserved, and the fear of having hurt you beyond repair weighed heavily on them. They worried that, after all the times they had let you down, it would be impossible for you to trust them again. They understood that trust is fragile, and once broken, it can be incredibly difficult to rebuild. This fear kept them stuck in a place of indecision, torn between their desire to come forward and make things right and their anxiety about whether you would be willing to give them another chance. They realized that their actions had consequences, and now they must confront the possibility that they could lose you forever if they didn't take responsibility for the hurt they caused. It is clear that both of you have grown during this period of separation. You've established healthy boundaries and rediscovered your own strength, while they've gained a newfound appreciation for the depth of your connection. Now, the question is whether they will have the courage to face their past mistakes and earn back your trust, and whether you are willing to open your heart to them again. The future remains uncertain, but one thing is clear: the love between you is real, and it has the potential to overcome the obstacles that have stood in its way. My feelings for you run far deeper than I can easily express, and I know you're aware of them in some way. But the truth is, I rarely, if ever, show you just how profoundly you've affected me. There's a part of me that holds back, even though the feelings are there, stronger than I can manage at times. It's as if I'm wearing a mask, pretending that I don't care as much as I truly do. I'm not lying when I say that I've tried so hard, to deny these feelings, to push them away, to resist the hold you have on me. I've fought against them, telling myself that I could move on, that I should just forget and let go. But no matter how much I try, nothing seems to work. Your smile, your face, they're always there, living in my mind even when I wish they wouldn't. I can't escape the memory of you, even when I want to. Every little detail about you lingers with me. It's not just the way you look, though that plays a huge part. It's your energy, the way you make me feel when you're around. The way your presence alone used to light up my world. I miss that more than I can say. It's as though something vital has been missing from my life these last few days. I feel disconnected, almost numb, because I can't sense you the way I used to. And that's what hurts me the most. I want to feel your touch again, to have you back in my life in a way that makes me feel alive. It's strange to say this, but it's like I've been living without a part of myself ever since we've been apart. You were a source of warmth and energy for me, and without you, I felt cold and lost. I want so much to reach out and pull you back into my world, but something holds me back. I feel stuck, tangled up in my own responsibilities and obligations. It's as if my day-to-day life, my 3D existence, is pulling me down, trapping me in a reality where I can't reach you the way I want to. And yet, despite everything, my deepest wish is simple and clear: I want to marry you. I want to build a life with you, one where we're happy, where we share our days and nights and everything in between. When I think about my future, you are the only person I can imagine standing by my side. There's no one else. I've never felt this kind of connection before, not with anyone. I've never allowed myself to be this vulnerable, emotionally open, and raw with anyone the way I have with you. That alone terrifies me, because I've always tried to protect myself, to keep a part of my heart guarded. But with you, it's different. I feel exposed, and yet, I also feel more alive than ever. It's both scary and intensely satisfying at the same time. Since we've been physically apart, that longing for you has only grown stronger. Every day, I miss you a little more. It's as though the distance between us has magnified everything I feel. I find myself thinking about you constantly, even when I don't want to. I can't help but watch you from afar, secretly observing, trying to catch glimpses of you in any way I can. It's something I don't want to admit, but it's true. I still feel so connected to you, even when we're apart, and I wish I could just tell you everything that's on my mind. I wish I could tell you just how deeply in love with you I am. But then I wonder, would it even make a difference? Could anything change the fact that we're not together the way I wish we were? I feel so stuck in my own life, and yet, my thoughts keep circling back to you. You are the one person I can imagine my future with, the one person who makes me feel like I could be my truest self. I want so badly for us to be together, for us to share a life and build something beautiful. The thought of losing that, of never having that with you, is what scares me the most. I don't know what the future holds, but I know that I'm in love with you in a way that I've never been with anyone else. You've touched my heart in ways I never thought possible, and no matter how much I try to deny it, that truth remains. You are the person I want by my side, today and always. I keep going over and over my trespasses against you, replaying the moments in my mind, and each time, I feel the same overwhelming sadness. It's hard to come to terms with how many times I let you down, especially when I know that you deserved so much better. I have disappointed not just you, but myself, and that realization weighs on me. I think about how many chances I had to make different choices, to show you more love, more care, more respect. And yet, for reasons I can't fully explain, I fell short. Each time, I think, I could have done better, and that thought stays with me like a shadow I can't shake. I understand now that I should have done better for you and by you. In every way, I could have been kinder, more understanding, more attentive. The opportunities to be a better person were always right in front of me, but I let them slip away, time and time again. It's a painful truth to face, knowing that I had the power to do things differently but chose not to act on it. It's one thing to make a mistake, it's another to repeat it, knowing deep down that you're not living up to the standard you set for yourself, or that you know someone else deserves. I failed you when you needed me most, and I failed myself by not being the person I knew I could be. I know you have forgiven me, and for that, I am deeply grateful. Your forgiveness is a gift, a grace that I don't feel I deserve, but I also know I must accept. The hardest part, though, is forgiving myself. It's easier said than done, isn't it? You've let go of the hurt, and yet, here I am, still carrying it like a weight on my shoulders. Every time I try to move forward, I'm reminded of all the times I could have made better choices. I think it's time for me to forgive myself fully, to let go of the guilt and the regret, but it's so difficult to do. It's hard to release something that has become so ingrained in my heart, something that feels like a part of me now. But I know I must, or I'll never be able to heal. I'm trying to lift myself out of this, to rise above the feelings of shame and regret, but right now, it feels impossible. It's as if my feet are stuck in quicksand, and no matter how much I try to pull myself free, I keep sinking deeper. It's a suffocating feeling, knowing that I want to move forward, but feeling powerless to do so. I want so desperately to find my way back to you, to the connection we had, to the person I was before I made these mistakes. But the path back feels like it's slipping further away the more I struggle. I know it's within reach, but I feel so weighed down by everything that's happened. Even though I've tried to let go of the past, to release the baggage that I've been carrying for so long, it still feels like there's so much left. I've made progress, I've let go of some of the guilt, some of the regret, but it doesn't feel like enough. There are still moments when the weight feels unbearable, when it feels like I'm dragging a part of my past with me wherever I go. Maybe this is some kind of punishment, some consequence for walking away from the gift that you brought into my life. I don't know if I'm punishing myself or if this is just part of the process of healing, but either way, it's exhausting. You were a gift in my life, a gift that I didn't appreciate fully at the time. I see that now, and I regret not valuing you the way I should have. You brought light into my world, and in my carelessness, I dimmed that light. It's hard to come to terms with that, knowing that I had something so beautiful and let it slip away. Now, I'm left with the memories of what could have been, the constant what-ifs that play over and over in my mind. But I don't want to live in the past anymore. I don't want to stay stuck in this quicksand of regret and self-blame. I want to move forward, to forgive myself as you have forgiven me, and to find my way back to the person I was meant to be. It's not an easy journey, and I know it will take time, but I am committed to it. I want to honor the gift you were in my life by becoming a better version of myself. I want to let go of the weight I've been carrying and walk freely toward a future that is no longer defined by my past mistakes.